And I suppose kind of flipping that on its head from a brand perspective, for them it's kind of about knowing, actually this is going to give me some sort of return on investment. How do we, how do we measure live, David? What's the kind of the key crux?
It's a really good question, and the answer is we kind of measure it however the client wants to measure it. And I think the kind of new era that we're in, where we're kind of in that kind of post-social media age of just we have now a very kind of compelling live video platform. We are having the conversations we're having with clients are changing from what is my cost per engagement, how many likes did I get, etc., into has this worked for my brand? So the short answer is, if you're measuring it through measuring offline sales impact or through a econometric model, we want to help you to do that. If it's about brand effects, brand awareness, we can do that as well. It's a kind of a horses for courses approach, but I think what we do with brands is we basically ask them to, when they're working with Twitter, to kind of complete the sentence, how can we X so that Y? And the Y is, what is your objective, what are you trying to achieve? And the X is, what is your approach to using Twitter? And because there are so many different options now available to brands, it's not just the kind of witty 140 character tweet. Brands' eyes are being opened up to all the kind of creative possibilities that there are.
And that's a great thing, because I think once they understand that, they get the drive in from that end into you guys, and then back out again, which is certainly the way forward. So we kind of talked around those things. What do you think is the biggest hamper to live taking off over the next 12 months? What do we need to overcome? What are the biggest obstacles we need to overcome over the next year?
Well, one thing for me, especially the Twitter platform, this entire conversation we've had for the last 30 minutes or 5 minutes if it's edited down, would sound incredibly alien to some people. Some people are like, Twitter's that platform for 140 characters, and I think you can put a picture on there, can't you? So that the entire fact that we've managed to spend all this time talking about the nuances of like live video content on the platform is a pretty big barrier to get over. A fairly easy one to get over once someone picks up their phone, sees a bit of live content and kind of gets that aha moment. I think that is the starting point of really just, the platform has shifted hugely over the last 12 months, 6 months. And people first of all need to say, oh, okay, it's quite a different space. That's kind of the first step.
I think it's surfacing the content, it's making it easily accessible, and it's making people find it. I mean, you'll probably find that there's people that, say for instance, have been on Facebook and still can't find a live stream, So I think one of the challenges is trying to sort of surface that, make people use it, drive an audience, and that would generate the brand's interest, because they'll start seeing it and they'll start using it and they'll start being asked questions about it. And I think that will really sort of make everyone's job a little bit easier, because, there'll be a natural conversation around those scheduled programmings that people will go back and watch again and again, but on Twitter as opposed to sort of on a traditional TV. So.
Yeah.
And I think the other thing for us is understanding kind of the vision of the scalability and how those events are going to roll out. So it's, at the moment, some of the challenges will be around the content not being right for a brand, or the opportunity not being quite there. So is it too global? Is it less local? Does it not have the scale in our individual market? So I think it'll be really interesting for us to see over the next 6 months or so how UK properties, or properties from the US that transport over here that really resonate very well with the UK audience, can offer us that scale for clients who are wanting to operate just in the single market.
Actually, it's a question I was going to ask next. It's twice you've stolen my questions. I love that. How do you? One of the things is you've seen the notes. To be fair, I haven't actually asked one of the questions on here yet. David must be turning inside. I sent the questions to him yesterday, thinking, crikey, we haven't got through one of those 27 you sent me yesterday. But you've given me so many good answers, and we've got such great content. But I was going to ask about that.